Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry that I've been absent. I've just been really busy with work and all of that, but I wanted to come on here and talk about keto. Lately, I have been getting a lot more questions about the ketogenic diet and what it actually means. So I decided that I was going to create this video to kind of talk a little bit about my experiences with keto and just to kind of help you along your journey if you're considering it and things like that. So I do have a list right here next to me of some points that I want to talk about. So if I keep looking down, that's what I'm looking at in my notes. So the first thing is, what is keto? So for me, the keto diet is essentially a low carb, high fat diet. So you are eating an extremely low amount of carbs, which is typically between 30 and 50 grams of carbs a day. Now, the standard American diet is actually 100 to 300 carbs a day. That's typically what Americans consume. And so when you're on the ketogenic diet, you're reducing that significantly to 30 to 50 grams of carbs. Now, when I started the ketogenic diet, I was actually under 30 grams of carbs. But now that I've kind of lost my weight, it's kind of more flexible, and I go up to 50 on some days, but typically 30 to 50 is where I stay at. So just kind of keeping in mind that when I started out, I'll just kind of give a backstory. So when I started out, I had to kind of go slow, and um, that's why I wanted to create this video to kind of tell you about my process, because it is a process. So um, excuse me. Okay. So, my first tip is I'll just jump right in. So, the first tip is to do your research. When I first started my weight loss journey, I wanted to make it a point to definitely do my research before jumping into a diet. The ketogenic diet is not for everyone, it really isn't. I wanted to find a diet that I knew that I was going to be able to stick to for the long term. For the long haul. And doing my research, I found that my body type is essentially the endomorphic body type, which that body type does not process carbs very well. So the endomorphic body type holds on to carbs, holds on to that water. More so than other body types, and I believe the other two are mesomorph and ectomorph. Those are the other two body types that are out there, and I believe there's a lot more. But do your research on your body type first before jumping into the keto diet, because then it'll give you some insight as to how your body processes uh, carbohydrates and what's best for your weight loss journey. The second thing that I will say is to know what foods to avoid and what foods to limit. Like I said, in the beginning, I kind of took it slow. So I ate meats, veggies, but I was still eating things like sweet potatoes. And I think sweet potatoes were like the only carb that I kind of, kept eating in the beginning, just to kind of so that it wasn't so drastic. And that's fine. Like, you have to understand that it's okay to kind of slowly jump into the ketogenic diet, because it's very intense, and it's hard. So you have to kind of know what foods to avoid and limit. Um, so there's a ton of resources online that will give you a list of foods that are allowed on the ketogenic diet and the foods to avoid. So I definitely recommend you to do your research on that. So the third is to expect the keto flu and withdrawals. So when you are starting the ketogenic diet, in the beginning, I guess for the first 3 to 5 days, maybe even 3 to 7 days, they say that, or experts say that, you can kind of feel like you have the flu. You can get a cold. Um, you'll feel really sick. For me personally, I don't think I experienced the keto flu, but I know it's very common for a lot of people in the beginning, that first 3 to 7 days, feeling sick, feeling weak, feeling fatigued. I did feel fatigued and weak in the beginning. I was very tired a lot. And so just kind of keep that in mind, that those things are expected. It's just your body withdrawing from, your patterns of eating carbs. Like it's something new. So keep that in mind, that that's expected, but keep going and keep pushing through it, because it will pass. The fourth thing is to understand or know that the first 10 to 15 pounds are going to be water weight. So in the beginning, I, sorry, my computer. In the beginning, I lost about the first 10 to 15 pounds fast, like within weeks. But that wasn't necessarily fat that I was losing, it was water. So, like I said, when you're eating carbohydrates for my body type, I was holding on to a lot of water. So my body had to expel that in the beginning, because it wasn't yeah, so I lost a lot of water weight in the beginning. So just expect that, and just know that after that, you want to get to a place where your body is running on fat, and it's burning fat. So after that 15 pounds, and you're continuing to eat an essentially low carb diet, that your body will start to run on fat, and kind of keep that in mind. The fifth one, just on the topic of water, water and salt are so important, because your body is depleting those things at such a rapid pace. Do not neglect salt. So I know that whenever you're eating a lot of carbohydrates in the standard American diet, um, hypertension, high blood pressure is very common, because your body is retaining that salt. But when you're on a ketogenic diet, you're getting rid of that. So you need to replace that. So I highly recommend sea salt, and just kind of adding more salt to your meats, to your veggies, kind of just making sure that you're keeping salt in your diet. Like that is something that is so important. I noticed for me, if I wasn't getting enough salt, I felt really, really tired, and I felt I would have heart palpitations. It's just, that's just what it is. Like you have to have salt and you have to have water. Those are the two things that you definitely want to prioritize while you're on the ketogenic diet, at least from my experience. Number 6 is to limit artificial sweeteners. Now, I will say this, I do think that you can have artificial sweeteners within moderation. Because you're making such a drastic change to your diet, if you want to have a Diet Coke, have a Diet Coke. If, like, I know for me, I love Starbucks. I love my coffee. When I go to Starbucks, I do get like a sugar-free vanilla with heavy cream, things like that. I think that's fine, just within moderation. Don't have them all the time, but I mean, if you want to, you can, and I think it's fine. Like for me, I still drink Diet Coke, and I still but definitely try to substitute like stevia. I know they have like the liquid drops of French vanilla. If you do love coffee, try to use healthier or healthier sweeteners like stevia, erythritol. I would definitely avoid the sugar-free candies with like those artificial sweeteners, because from my personal experience, they do not they're not good for your digestive system. So I would limit those if possible, um, just so that you don't feel uncomfortable throughout the day. Um, so the seventh is to focus on meats, dairies, low carb vegetables, and fats. So that's essentially what the ketogenic diet is. It's meats, dairy, low carb veggies like greens, broccolis. Basically, the way I look at it is anything that is not like a potato, or you want to stay away from potatoes, carrots, too many tomatoes. Those are kind of the three things that I avoid. But everything else, like if it's a veggie, I'm gonna eat it. Like I'm not gonna go too crazy about that. Fruits, I definitely limit because those are super high in sugar. And on keto, low carb, low sugar, you wanna not uh, have too many fruits. But berries, I love berries. I definitely think that berries are great. Eat berries, eat low carb veggies, avocados, nuts, seeds. Um, those healthy fats are going to be really important. Um, 8, eat out less in the beginning. So, in the beginning, I would suggest to eat out less because at this point in my journey, since I've lost over 30 pounds, I know what to get when I'm out and about. Like, I know what foods to choose. But in the beginning, I would definitely recommend you to limit eating out just because, um, you're still learning what foods are allowed. You're still and you're going to be counting your carbs more often in the beginning. At this point in my journey, I kind of feel like I can figure it out. But definitely in the beginning, you want to be counting, you want to be eating out a lot less. Number 9, this one is so important. Do not cheat. I would highly recommend you to not cheat, not cheat in the beginning because on keto you can't do it. The moment you start eating carbs again, if you're in your weight loss journey, the moment you start eating carbs again, you are taking yourself out of ketosis. Now, I'm not a ketosis expert. I don't do the strips or anything like that. But I will say, don't cheat. You can't cheat on keto. Just don't do it. If you do have a day where you slip up, the next day, immediately go back to your routine. It is so hard to get back on track when you consume carbs because carbs are addicting. And when you get off the bandwagon, it's so hard to get back on. So I just recommend you to not do that at all. I can't stress that enough. Number 10, be gentle with yourself. And this is one of the most important things. Be gentle with yourself. Even though I'm saying don't cheat and, all of this stuff, you got to be gentle. In the beginning, it is such a huge lifestyle change. For me personally, it was so hard. I loved carbs, I loved sugar. Now I can enjoy really good food. And I even feel like I don't feel deprived because, with the artificial sweeteners, like, or not really artificial, but like with erythritol and stevia, things like that, adding those things kind of helps me as far as the sweets go. But I was a huge carb addict. And I understand that this is super hard. If you're starting this, I was there with you. I was a foodie and I was able to do this. But be gentle with yourself. If you do fall off, just get back on. Consistency is the key with this diet. It's gonna take time. I know for me, like I lost about 2 pounds a week, and that's pretty normal. 2 pounds. I would say any more than that, try to not do that. I mean, 1 to 2 pounds is normal, and that's gonna allow you to maintain that weight over, you know, for longer. You know, so definitely just be gentle with yourself. Understand that it's a process, but just be consistent and just do your research. Kind of know what you're getting into. Like I said, it is not for everyone. Um, n- eh, I can't stress enough. It's not for everyone. But the key is to find something that you can stick to and something that is going to be the best option and healthy for you and your body type. So those are my top 10 tips for starting the ketogenic diet. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me, um, email me, call me, text me, whatever. I'm an open book when it comes to keto. And I'll be more than happy to help you and kind of share my insight with you. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and leave it at that, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.